Okay, according to that, we're live. So there we go. I got people yelling at me. I'm not punctual in the chat here. Welcome, live from the crossroads of America. Talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. We answer questions from the audience. Just put them in the chat there or email me at Rickslifeasiseeit at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. We are broadcasting on gun channels and YouTube. And I got a Patreon page. All the information's down there below. Every show I've done, including this one will be on Podbean within 24 hours of the show ending. Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher, how you pronounce it. And but yeah, that's about it. So let me get see who's here today. The first in was New York Outcast, and he wins the free gun. And the second person in, Jason Stewart, has to buy the ammo. So that's what New York Outcast said anyway. So we got New York Outcast, Jason Stewart, John Brown Productions, The Gun Snob, Two Live Moves, Sabrina, Georgia Trucker is in there, and my one panel at the moment is Kingpin. How you doing?
I'm good, Rick. Thanks for having me. Good to see everybody out in the chat.
Oh yeah, and I would imagine some other people will show up here shortly. Oh, gun-loving grandpa's in the house too. So there we go. Saturday afternoon. I mean, actually, it's we went through a cold spell here at the beginning of the week here in southern Indiana. I mean, it got damn right cold. You know. Oh, hang on. Oh, Springer, her package came. Great. Glad you got it. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. It was down there. One morning I woke up. It was in single digits here. It snowed. The snow had frozen. There was black ice on the road. And I was driving down the road, and I wasn't even paying attention to what I was doing. I was just going. All of a sudden, I hit a sheet of black ice. And honestly, my truck actually done a 360 spin in the road, slid off the road on into the grass on the side of the road, which was only frost covered because my back wheels sunk almost down to the axles. It was, I had to put it in 4-wheel drive low to get my ass out of there. And I didn't think it was going to make it either. But anyway, where I'm going is today, it's up in the 40s. So I don't know. So anybody who's out there, right. Do what?
Glad you didn't get hurt.
Oh yeah, believe it, I am too. I mean, I was more worried because where I slid off onto the grass, there was maybe, I don't know. I would say about the length of my truck until it came to a pasture, and there was fence posts all along. I could see myself smashing into one of those, as I span around. But luckily, I said with the ground being so soft, it stopped me from sliding over that far, So, hell yeah. No, it was something interesting. So, all right, let's get on. I was talking to while I was a couple of minutes late getting started. I was talking about the topic that I chose for today with Kingpin before we started. So for the audience out there, I think I worded it was, hang on, I can look it up actually. I got it right here. It is, has society evolved beyond firearms? Is what my talk, plus more, but that's my main topic. And what made me say that is there really, a good example, CarMax now has come out anti-gun. Then you got, of course, Walmart, Kroger's, Dick's Sporting Goods. And I was listening to a radio show last night, a Pro 2 gun one, and he was saying, why do these companies take the risk of alienating half of their customer base, i.e., the pro gun people. Now, my question is there really half? I mean, is there really half? Is half the nation pro gun? You know, I think we're getting. I mean, I hope. I mean, Kingpin's got a different opinion to me, so that just made this conversation good. But I think we're getting smaller. You know, when old fat white guys like me die off, is there enough people replacing us? You know, where I was going with this is, I mean, you see a lot of estate sales where, you know, somebody's bought the whole gun collection and they're selling it off or whatever. It's gun people who are buying it. You don't see some new guy who's never had guns buying that to become a gun guy. So you've lost a Second Amendment member when he died. We're not replacing, so we got to be getting smaller.
Yeah, but on the estate sale topic, just specifically on that, most people who are looking for their first gun are going to go to a gun store, you know, or go to their buddy's house that has guns and hop on the internet and get help that way. Most of your estate sale guns are probably going to be older guns, purpose-driven guns and stuff like that, or collectibles things, where a newbie's probably not going to know what they're looking at. Hey, that's a rifle. Why does this brown rifle cost $800 and this one cost $1,500? They just don't know the difference. So that's why I think a lot of people, you're not going to find a lot of new people trying to get into the guns at estate sales.
Yeah. I mean, when you get down to specifics, yeah, you're correct. But maybe that was the wrong thing to use for my thing. That, I just don't. Maybe it's because what I was saying is the media leans left or leans anti-gun, and they are controlling the narrative. And I mean, Jason Stewart said here, gun owners aren't aware or don't care. We need to boycott anti-freedom companies. But they're listening to the media saying guns are bad.
Well, CarMax, just specifically, CarMax sat down and said, people are going to buy cars from us. And do we want people protesting out in our parking lot while other people are trying to buy cars? No. Now, this is just assuming that they don't really believe this and they're just caving to the pressure. They could possibly be anti-gun and that's what they want to do. But I'm just going along the lines of they're caving to political pressure.
Yeah. But also what I was saying earlier is like when you buy a car from a dealer or whatever, they put their decal on the back of the vehicle somewhere. It looks like it's been painted on, but it's actually a decal, that they stuck on there to show where the car was bought. Well, CarMax is offering where they put their CarMax decal, you can have Moms Demand Action or the other organization that's run by was it something for gun safety or whatever it is. You could choose to have those decals put on your vehicle instead of the CarMax sign, but they don't offer a pro-gun organization decal, which I think is unfair. But so are they? So they're alienating half of their customer base. But are they really?
Well, no, they're not. It's not because of the numbers out there. You're still going to go buy a car from CarMax because it's the cheapest place to go to get your most variety of car. And, they can deliver it to you in all the different options, just like buying from Amazon. We all know that Jeff Bezos hates guns and hates our freedom, but everybody still shops Amazon because it's
I do.
And that's, CarMax is figuring pro-gun guys aren't going to go and complain beyond, hanging out with their friends. They're not going to protest in my parking lot. Matter of fact, they're probably just going to come buy a car from me and not say anything. And the few that go to a different dealership, so be it. I don't want people protesting out in front of me and going on the news and saying, "Look, CarMax is complicit with school shooters." So it's just it sucks, but they fight, we don't.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, personally, myself, if I was going to be buying a car from CarMax now, and they offered me that, I'll say I don't want any decal on the back of my car, not even yours. Is what I would do now, personally. Why advertise them? Is the way I look at it. That goes back to another thing is I've noticed, I don't know another part, but there's certain stores now are starting to charge for their shopping bags that you carry your groceries, the plastic bags. They want to start charging for them. And my argument is, but you got it, and it has their name plastered all on the outside of it. That's what they used to do in it. I don't know if they still do. That was big in England. They would charge you for they call them carrier bags. They would charge you for them, right? And what I would do is I would turn them inside out. And they would say, "What are you doing that for?" I said, "Well, I'm not paying you. I'm paying you, and you get free advertisement." I said, "It don't work that way." I said, "If you give it to me free, I'll advertise your store." So,
What a lot of people don't understand too is grocery stores. The vast majority of grocery stores already charge you for those bags.
oh yeah,
And if you'll notice, if you get like those reusable bags, which I think are better because you can fit more stuff in them and make less trips, and you can reuse them. Your bill is slightly lower. But a lot of counties in Maryland, not every county has, like, if you go in a Subway and order a sandwich to go, you got to be careful because if they ask you, "Do you want a bag?" they're probably going to charge you for it. Because if they don't ask you, they'll just grab a bag, stuff the sub in there, and hand it to you. But they're not going to say, "Hey, I have to charge you for a bag. Do you want one?" They'll just say, "Would you like a bag?" And then when you say yes, they charge you 5 more cents.
yeah, yeah. Without telling you, you got to pay for it. Yeah, yeah. But I guess I'm trying not to sound negative. Back to my original topic, but I mean, you're saying we're not outnumbered. You're saying there's plenty of pro 2A people out there, or should we say, people who believe in freedom, believe in the Constitution, in the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
But how do we get the message out to them? How do we change the narrative? That's the problem, because we don't have access to that media. How do we change the media?
Well, I don't know if G Web's coined it, but he says it an awful lot. This is the new media. What we're doing right now, and Instagram and all these other kinds of things. Plus, just sitting here on YouTube or on Instagram, you're already in the bad guy's lair. YouTube's not a friend of ours. Instagram's not a friend of ours. And at any point in time, all they got to do is flip the switch, and there goes your gun content or whatever, content. So just be the new media, and then do like Patriot always says: talk to real people. When you're at the grocery store, spark up a conversation with a stranger, become friends with somebody else, and then try to talk to them about it. And then
Yeah.
obviously you got to vote. And if you want to get really aggressive, when somebody at your Walmart says that you can't carry a gun in there and calls the cops on you, the next day there should be 100 people there saying, "You're not going to do my boy Rick that way." If Rick can't come in with his gun, none of us are coming in. But how many people still shop at Walmart right now? And I'm not talking about the people that don't have any other choice. I'm talking about like me. Walmart's right behind my house, and I don't go in there. And I'm not because I'm better than anybody else or this or that and the third. It's because I said I'm not going to shop at Walmart anymore, and I'm not going to shop at Walmart anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm bad. I go in there. I've been in there a couple of times since this all started, and I happened to go past the sporting goods section, and they all all handgun ammo was on sale.
Yeah, sure, and that's tempting. I see all these YouTube videos of people in their Walmarts and they're slashing the prices on their ammo, and I'm like, man, I wonder what my Walmart's doing. And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like, well, you know what? I don't care because I'm not going. I don't care if they're giving it away for free. I'm not taking it from Walmart.
yeah.
But I
Midnight
don't begrudge
Range.
anybody. I don't begrudge anybody that does. If that's what you want to do, fine. That's fine. Maybe it's your only option. You might have kids, or you might be a little bit frugal with the way you spend your money, and you like to get your bottles of water from Walmart instead of the grocery store, or you like to get your T-shirts from Walmart instead of the big name department store because it's cheaper and it's more convenient. I understand that.
Oh yeah, Midnight Range says back to what I was saying. If we're not outnumbered, we are definitely outvoiced. You know. And New York Outcast says plenty of gun owners, but lack of 2A supporters. So yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, you were there. I mean, I wasn't there at the 2A rally. I'd say, I mean, personally, it was great that people it went on, had great speakers. People showed up. To me, that was a success. But I was a little disappointed. I thought there would be more people there, you know, and that's what makes me think are we're not as big as we think we are.
Right, but for all the people that weren't at the Second Amendment rally, look at all the people that show up at Trump rallies and scream their heads off when he says, cool things about the Second Amendment. There's 50,000 people at all these events. Bernie Sanders isn't pulling, Beto's not pulling 50,000 people when he says, I'm going to come take your AR. And if there's more liberal stations out there on your television by far. Really on your television, you've got maybe two, three, and everybody knows Fox News. And everybody should be aware that Fox News is fake news just like the rest of them. But at least they've got more of a right wing conservative, I don't know, whatever, our side of things slant. But Fox News gets double the ratings that all the rest of the people get. The CNN wishes they had, in 1 year, they wish that they had the ratings that Fox gets on a Friday. If they just can't do it, Fox destroys them every single time. Then you go to Mark Levin on the radio. Rush Limbaugh, 26, 30 million people listening to him every single day. Name one liberal radio host.
Yeah, you got a good point.
You can't because there aren't. Because their shows are terrible. Rachel Maddow is, I'm sure everybody's seen the whole Jeopardy thing go down. Rachel Maddow is arguably the most famous news person, if you want to call it that, in the country that's a female. Everybody that we think knows Rachel Maddow. They showed her picture on Jeopardy, and the smartest people in the country didn't even know who she was. Didn't know who she was, and they were looking at her picture. So just because we are sharply aware that Rachel Maddow is crazy and she's got a big voice and everybody on her side likes her, doesn't mean that she's really a big giant.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, good point. Good point.
It's the same argument that I make when we start talking about the minutiae of gun laws and what should and what shouldn't. We are deeply involved in this stuff. The guy who lives next door to you, like I said earlier on Black Cat's chat, before I started buying handguns, I thought a holster was a holster. I thought you could take pretty much any holster, put it on your hip, and put any gun in it, because that's what a holster does, is it holds guns. And then when I bought my first handgun, I realized, wow, there's 10 trillion holsters out there, and they all do different things.
Yeah. I was almost the same way as that myself. But you're right talking about that. I mean, like my cousins, who, they're more into hunting than anything else around here. You know, they can tell you all the deer laws and regulations to hunting deers and squirrels and rabbits and all that shit. But what you say anything about what's happening on Second Amendment wise in the what's happening around the country, or what the Supreme Court's doing. I happened to mention to my cousin the other day about, next month the Supreme Court hears that 2A case, based out of New York. And they go, what are you talking about? I mean, that's just the way it is. So I explained it to him, which is strange. He has a carry permit, but he doesn't carry it on him. He carries it, he has it under his seat in his vehicle. He has a big, he has a, oh God, it's a Smith & Wesson 357. I can't think of the model number now. It's a chrome looking one, and he just has it laying under his seat in his truck. It's not even in a box. It's just loose under his seat. I was like, Jesus, So, but when it comes to other stuff with 2A, they have no clue because they're not keeping up on that stuff like we are. So,
yeah.
But they are. But I must admit, they're big Trump supporters. They love him, even with all this shit going on. They're still deplorables.
Hey, they're irredeemable. Remember?
Yeah. So I mean, long as I guess if Middle America, I mean, looking at my relatives out here in the country and stuff, there's some Democrats around here. It's going to be anywhere, but if there are people out here that still believe in Trump, so they're going to. So as you said, when he yells, "I'm defending the Second Amendment," they go, "Yay!" So they're still going to vote for him. No. But it worries me. It worries me because he won the Electoral College, which is what it's all about. On the popular vote, he was down by what, 3 million?
Yeah, but I see. Just like any other statistic, you got to really break them all the way down. Trump won way more counties than she ever did. He won more counties than Barack Obama did. He obviously won more states because he got the Electoral College votes, which he destroyed her in the Electoral College votes. And then you take California, New York, arguably the two biggest states in the country, except for Texas, and 30 million people live in California, and we'll say 15 million of them vote. That's roughly the size of the whole population of Maryland. Not counting the voting age people. I'm talking about everybody. I'm not exactly too sure how many people live in Maryland, but California's got roughly 30 million people. And plus, we also know that there's they let illegal immigrants vote and dead people vote and all kinds of stuff. When he asked for the voting rolls so he could go through an investigation, all the Trump states were like, yeah, here you go. Here's our records. You guys can investigate this to make sure nothing shady went down. All the Democrat states said no.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're reading the chat here. Two Gun Kitty says he was at the D.C. rally. I believe the attendance failure was due to them relying on social media to promote instead of contacting local organizations to promote. Too many people had no idea of the rally. And he writes further down, problem with social media and YouTube to promote is everyone has the same people subscribe to them. So you don't reach as many people as you think.
Yeah, true.
You're right. A lot of times I don't participate in chats and stuff, but I watch a lot of them in the evenings sitting in my recliner on my TV, right? And I'll see you guys that are right here. I see a lot of you in the other chats that I'm watching. So I understand where he's coming from.
Well, one of the things that I agree with is I called my most popular conservative radio station around here, and they had no idea that there was a rally going on. And they broadcast from Rockville, which is 10 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. It's a Washington, D.C. radio station. I called, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I called 4. Well, one's an FFL, but I called 3 actual gun stores and 1 FFL. None of them knew about it. None.
Yeah. Hey,
So
Sean, how you doing?
they needed to get us involved a lot more, I guess. Which they could have even just said, "Hey, tell more of your friends." I don't know. I mean, we could pick it apart, but I
Yeah,
agree
yeah.
that
Hey,
nobody knew it
if
was
they do
happening.
another one next year, we know, but we know we got to advertise more. Get the word out there more. So, Sean's joined us in the panel here. Talk to us. Oh, is he one of those? Yeah, we lost him. So
He was great on my screen. He'll pop back in, I hope.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. So, anyway, moving on. We can come back to this topic anytime, but I was going to talk about the 2 states with the most gun laws. Have a shooting, California and New Jersey. And it's our fault, of course. You know, it's the gun owner's fault because guns shouldn't be allowed. See, if there was no guns, then there would be no shootings. That's That's what they're thinking about. They don't care that we have a right to own them. There shouldn't be any at all.
Well, see, I've thought about this before, and this goes totally against their whole narrative of toxic masculinity and bully culture and all this kind of stuff. If you take guns away from everybody, and I'm talking about every single gun in the United States, all of them, except for, your cops or your military, but no civilian, period, has any gun. All of them are gone into the Benchmade wood chipper. Don't you think that guys the size of Midnight Range are going to run everything? Don't you think that Mike Tyson is going to be the new king of the neighborhood? He might not be the king of the country because the president's still got guns, but when the president leaves, the biggest, baddest, meanest guy in the neighborhood is going to be the boss. And that all those little women that are concerned, the little beta males that are concerned about tough guys and masculinity. Masculinity is going to stomp all over them when no one has anything but their fists to fight with.
Yeah, you're true. Hey, Sean, you got your
Hey,
camera
Rick.
on, by the way.
I'm outside, so it's kind of bright.
All
It
right.
just washed out.
You ain't smoking, are you?
Hey,
I thought you quit.
soon.
Oh, okay. So you got anything to put on this conversation we're having?
No, I jumped in as quick as I could, though.
No. Well, I was talking about. You see my topic? Has society evolved beyond firearms?
I think the short answer to that is unequivocally no, because it's not just about firearms. I mean, the real question is has society given up their right to self-protection? Because, I mean, if it's not a gun, it's going to be a rock. If it's not a rock, it's going to be an axe. If it's not an axe, it's going to be a knife or a car. I mean, we've seen this in London.
Yeah. But as I was saying, I think the narrative is against us. And I said, who was it? I mentioned this once before. If you say a lie enough times, it becomes the truth.
Enough people will hear it and they'll believe it, yes.
Yeah.
Fact of the matter is, though, is when you hear these talking heads about disarmament, what it actually is those who are in power are trying to disable the people who carry the equalizer of power. It puts you on an equal playing field with your attacker, whether it's socially, whether it's criminally, whether it's just defending your life or whatever. And they don't like that. They don't like the fact that they can't hold something over you. There's a reason why a 4'9", 85-pound woman is just as powerful as a 6'6", 400-pound muscle-bound guy if she's got a .44 Magnum. And they don't like that. They like people. There are in society people like to be on top of somebody else because it gives them a greater sense of purpose or ego. And what we say when we defend ourselves and our right to protect ourselves is, at the end of the day, you're no different than we are. You know, at the end of the day, you were born in the same way and you're going to die in the same way, and you're just meat in the middle. So what makes you have the right to say that you're more worthy than I am to be on equal footing with somebody who wants to take my life? That's all it really is. Because if it wasn't a gun, it would be something else. And as soon as that something else becomes the mainstream, then they're going to go after that. They don't want your talisman. They don't want your tool. They want you. They want to be empowered over you.
Yeah, they want
you to be subject.
Population.
Yeah, they want to subjugate you.
Yeah. You're right. And and our Second Amendment stops them from doing that. But if they can take it away from us, you know, I mean, like on Wednesday night, Patriot said, if the government said all handguns, I'm just simplifying this, all handguns are banned, period. Right?
Sure.
How you go? I mean, that's it. It's over.
Before I could legally carry a handgun, I carried a Bowie knife in my car. That is, and if they took your gun away, look at England. It's a perfect example. They took the guns away from the people in the most, crushing way possible. I mean, yeah, you can get one, but the restrictions are so great that most people say it's not worth the effort.
Oh yeah,
so then,
that's right.
Now what are they doing? They have these bins where you can turn in your knives because that was the next thing. And then once they're done with the knives, they're going to say that there's going to be a background check and a waiting period when you go to IKEA and buy a kitchen set.
Yeah.
It sounds funny, but I mean, think about domestic abuse and what they're using.
Butcher knives, I mean, people, they would start using, cricket bats. Instead of baseball bats, cricket bats,
But there's that one video out there with the one guy with a knife in some, famous park over in London or whatever. And he had 6 cops or bobbies surrounding him, and he had a knife, and all the cops just kept running away from him because the cops didn't have guns or even billy clubs, So one guy with a knife was fending off 6 police officers.
Oh yeah. I mean, all cops in England now are issued, knife body armor. Those vests they wear are meant to be able to stop a knife from going into you. So I saw that video.
But when you get now for a body armor, stab-proof body armor is fine for John Q. Public, who goes crazy and wants to try to stab a cop. When one of these ISIS fighters wants to stab a cop, they're going to stab him in his neck.
Oh yeah.
So, unless they're going to start wearing battle helmets too. And that didn't really work out for the quarterback of the Steelers this weekend.
No, it didn't. Well, technically, that guy got banned indefinitely, but we'll see what happens. How long indefinitely lasts.
You just raised a really good point. Actually, if you think about it, if it's good versus evil, and evil has a knife, and it could have been stopped by one good guy. Now he's holding off 6 good guys. So they're actually making the threat bigger. They're making the scene larger, and they're making their narrative wider because they said, look, even a knife can hold off 6 guys. Well, yeah, but if the Bobby was carrying a SIG P320, he would have put one in the guy's leg and it would have been over in 30 seconds.
Yeah, you're right.
It wouldn't even make the news because it would happen. Honestly, in England, if that was the case, it would probably happen often enough that people would stop doing it, and it would stop being on the news because it happens too much. Nobody would want to hear it anymore because they became desensitized by it. They're like, it's just another cop that shot an idiot with a knife,
Yeah. Midnight Ranger said, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. In the land of the banned guns, criminals will be king. Oh yeah.
We used to have a saying that said the man with the steel-toed boots wins the ass-kicking contest.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I mean, as I said, as everybody knows, I mean, I still, I mean, I can Second Amendment. All right. I mean, I still do, and I believe that if somebody does not want to own a gun or hold one or shoot one, that's fine. But don't stop me from doing it.
Well,
You know?
actually, you mentioned the knife-proof body armor.
Yeah.
Apparently, someone on this side of the pond got the message because there are those in power who are trying to make body armor illegal already.
Oh yeah.
So now what do? You want to take away the sword, and now you want to take away the shield.
Yeah. That it comes back to control.
Exactly.
They want to control us. They want big government. They want government to do everything, control us. You know?
And not a single person who pushes this narrative gives up their security detail, do they? They still have theirs.
Oh yeah. Oh
Whatever
yeah.
happened to leading by example?
I mean, to me, I think it's going to come to the amount of control they want. Where I mean, if your last name begins with M, you can only take a shit on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You know. I mean, that's what to me that's the kind of control they're after. They want total control of us. They're going to tell us how much. You know, they're going to. I mean, eventually they're set how much we can earn, how much tax we're paying. I mean, it comes. I mean, I could see it almost coming. The way the country's going right now, I can see it turn into like a China. You know, where they can tell you where you work, where you live, how many kids you can have, and what have we got to do? What have we got to combat that? Nothing. You know. So, as long as we have firearms, they're not going to do it. I don't think. But hell, they might. I don't know.
What are they going to do once they get them? Like, what's next? See, you know, when we see a story in the news, and the only thing that's on the news, and it might not be something that helps push their narrative, and something else happens, and it diverts our attention from the original story. So, okay, what if they somehow succeed and they make every firearm in the country disappear, which is impossible? Then what are they going to do? You know, we've had, let's say, 90 years. Let's say 90 years of people trying to tell us what we can't do, and to try to take, right?
Yeah.
When are they gonna have like a 5-year? You know, when they did the assault weapons ban, that was a 10-year experiment that failed horribly, right? When is somebody gonna have the bravery and the guts to stand up and say, "Listen, we've done it this way for 90 years. I've got a new 10-year experiment. 50-state constitutional carry for everybody. No NFA, no Hughes Amendment, no nothing, and let's just see what happens. Why can't we just do that once? And if it doesn't work in 10 years, you can go back to the system you had, and then we can keep fighting it out. But why don't we just have a 10-year grace period where we just, I don't know, try the opposite and just see what happens?"
Because they're like afraid to.
Well, it's not that they can't contain it. Like, let's give a nightmare scenario, right? Let's say all this happens, and there's chaos in the streets, like everyone keeps saying there's going to be. It's not like they just can't mobilize the National Guard, mow everyone down, and stop it. So what are they afraid of? They're afraid of taking the cover off the facade. That's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of the fact that we finally realize that we don't need them.
You're right. You're right. Yeah. Right. So I'll read in the chat here. So, and Kingpin, you're back with us, or we lost you again?
I think I'm here.
Okay, good. That's good. Yeah. So what else? Oh, damn! I forgot to. It's 3:45, and I ain't done my quiz yet. Okay. Last week's quiz, and it was for the. Hang on, let me. It was for the hook and brush set, 4-piece stainless steel hooks, utility brush, brass brush, lens scope brush. So that, and they got a bunch of stickers, and we got a classic arms patch, and a whole bunch of different stickers in here. That was good.
If I could preface this
Do what?
with something, if I could preface this with something,
Yeah.
if you didn't have very many entries, if some of you were at a very particular Discord on a very particular day, I gave away the answer, but I didn't enter the contest because I didn't think it would be fair.
I don't have many entries. Not at all. So I got a total of 3 to be precise. So
You can just start sending me that stuff, Rick. I'll take it.
okay, yeah. Well, the question was, how do you pronounce that name, Sean? Of the dog?
I don't remember the dog's name. I only remember the answer to your question.
No, but the 3-headed dog.
Oh, Cerberus.
Cerberus. Okay. In the TV show Still Team, their dog is named Cerberus. But what I wanted to know was what breed and what was special about it. Well, the breed is a Belgium. How you pronounce that? Malinois.
Malinois.
Malinois, a Belgian Malinois, and its real name is Dita, and it's a female. It plays a male dog in the show. It's actually a female called Dita, and it was actually born in Indiana here, believe it or not. So that was the answer. And where's my random picker here with my 3 names in it? Let's hit the button and see who we got. Oh, come on. This random picker is fixed. Unknown user.
Congratulations.
It's rigged. I think he's gone in and infiltrated the random picker to make his name come up. So so unknown user. Let me write that down so I can write his name down here. I think I know his address by heart. But he enters them all. So I can't blame him for winning. You know. Okay, this week's quiz. I got, of course, tons of patches here, and I got patches. I got. I even got it. I think this one even got a Patriot in the Dark sticker. Oh yeah, it does. I got a American flag sticker. Patch. I've got the old Gaston flag thing, but with on the bottom, instead of saying "Don't tread on me," it says "F around and find out." Patch. And for all you, I know a lot of you might not like him, but I even got a Hank Strange patch right there. So that's it. So that is the prize. I don't know if I add anything else to it, but that's it for right now. And the question is, email only, guys. The question is, where is it? Another TV show. SWAT, the latest one, the one that's running right now. Season 3, episode 7. I'm making it so easy for you, right? They used a A corner shot. It's an accessory. That's all I'm going to say. I want to know what it is, who invented it. That's it. What it is it, and who invented it. It's a weapon accessory is what it is. I want to know
who invented it in real life or who invented it character on the show.
Who invented it in real life. Who invented it in real life and what actually is it? What actually is that accessory? So,
awesome is not an acceptable answer.
No. Actually, I never even knew they existed until I saw it on the show the other night. But they've been around for quite a while. So, there you go. So, I'm giving so much away. So,
Yorkies are my favorite AR attachment, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, so that is the quiz for next week. Have that into me by lunch, 12 noon Eastern time next Saturday. Email them at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. So, there we go. All right, moving on. I did bring up the shootings, but we never got very far with those. I mean, like California. You know, before they even had the first news conference, you know, he ain't going nowhere anyway, but Cory Booker says we need to take the fight to the NRA. You know, NRA didn't pull the trigger. You know, he was a 16-year-old. How did he get hold of the handgun in the first place? He had to get hold of it illegally, even if it was his parents. At 16, he can't carry a firearm in California. You know, of course, I was reading an article this morning. I don't know if it's true or not, but some more stuff is he fired one. From what I understand, it was a 1911, and it jammed after the first shot. He cleared it, then shot a few more times, then turned the gun on himself and shot himself. Last I heard, he's still alive, but, you know,
He died.
He's dead.
What?
He's dead.
He died yesterday.
Oh, he did die? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we never found out why he did what he did, but hey, we never know. But also I read that he had put stuff on Instagram the night before.
The weird thing about this is the same class that's going to say 16-year-olds shouldn't carry guns because, you know, they're not mature enough and blah, 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 and they're dangerous, are the same people who will defend, like, Germany, where you can drink at 2 years old. And then they say, well, no 2-year-olds drink because everybody can do it. It's no big deal. Or they'll sexualize our children by having drag queens read to them because they want to make it normal for a kid. Well, let them carry a gun, too, and then it'll be normal.
Yeah, true. Oh, well, just real quick, I forgot to mention that. Thank you, Georgia Trucker. That F around patch was actually sent to me to give away by Alan Anchor. If anybody don't know who they are, AlanAnchor.com. They are they make patches and stickers. Pro 2A. So just look them up. They're very good. Very reasonable price, too. So just want to mention that. Yes, you're right there. I mean, then they had the shooting in New Jersey on Friday night during the third quarter of a high school football game. And one of the, where, you know, like it tells us, make sure what your backstop is and stuff, because one of the shots hit a kid. Luckily, didn't kill him, you know, but he was shot, you know, and that was because they were just firing. There was 4 people. I think there was 4. They arrested the main guy, plus 4 other people were arrested too.
So was this like a self-defense thing, or was it just people pissed off at each other shooting?
Well, from what I can understand, it was gang related.
You are correct, sir.
Well, picking your backstop is irrelevant because gangbangers don't give a crap about that.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, blind shooter.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Kingpin.
So it was. The way I interpreted the story, it was gang related. That shooting in New Jersey. You know. So, but they caught the guys and they've arrested them and charged them with weapon. How do they word it? Weapon related offenses. So there we go. So what's new with you, blind shooter?
Not much. Busy day in the crime-ridden city of New York.
Oh yes. Hey, your court case is getting closer and closer.
Yes, it is. Can't wait till those gun control Nazis get slapped in the face.
Yeah. If they don't, then something's gone totally wrong with our country. We might as well kiss it goodbye. You know.
Although, from what I hear, Ginsburg missed the impeachment hearing, so does she have another foot in the grave yet, or?
Technically, she has a cold. That's what I read. You know,
That's just the ice running through her veins.
You know, but yeah, she can't hang in there much longer. But for her age, she's a very. I'm saying before she came down with all the surgeries and shit, she was a very active and healthy woman for her age. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So she could last a bit longer. E. Honda says Gate Frog this week is going to be all about protesting successfully for the 2A and how to fight the left. Oh, okay. I might join that one and see how that one goes. Okay, now what do you guys? What's your opinion on the Supreme Court not taking the Connecticut gun case? You know, the left portrayed it as Supreme Court ruled that they can go after, manufacturers. No, they didn't. They didn't rule on anything. They just refused to look at the case and reverted it back to basically by saying no, is the case can go ahead in the state of Connecticut. And from what I understand, it's they're trying to get them on advertisement, something to do with the state of Connecticut about advertising. Could it have see, you got to remember too, up there in Connecticut, that's left-leaning country up there. Which way are the judges going to follow the law, or are they going to follow their political feelings? If they follow their feelings, Remington's going to lose. So
I'm curious to. Sorry, Rick, go ahead.
Go on.
I was going to say, I was just curious to find out, what exactly are they trying to go after them in terms of advertising for it? Because Connecticut's not too far from me here in New York, and there's never any advertising for any gun manufacturer whatsoever. So, what are they advertising?
Well, mainly in magazines and stuff like that, and stuff that it's a military style weapon.
So basically, they're trying to infringe on the First Amendment.
And also here's one I was reading. They've also claimed, because I don't know how they're going to pull this one off, that masculinity. It's making young kids, if they have one of these guns, they will be masculinity. Can you believe that shit?
So does that mean the pregnant mother that used AR-15 is masculine now?
Must be. That's kind of stuff going after.
If they're really pushing this thing about masculinity, right? I don't think guns made G.I. Joes get bigger. Do you remember when you were a kid and G.I. Joe came out and everybody that was a figure, an action figure, was a believable human size. And then you ended up at the far end of the spectrum today where you've got these super muscle bound guys in like Mass Effect. Guns didn't do that. The industry kept pushing for superhumans, for idols and role models and things. So I don't understand why they keep associating the gun with masculinity when children have been indoctrinated for decades with WWE superstars that keep getting bigger and more, unrealistic in size to the middle school kid working out trying to make, first string in football. What they've got is a really weak argument.
I think they have too, and maybe that's what the Supreme Court's thinking, that it ain't going to make it out of the state of Connecticut. Now don't get me wrong. I mean, as Will said, anybody that gets shot by a crazy fool, I feel it's a shame. It really is. But
I know
on the big scheme of things, why should we be punished for a couple of goddamn idiots?
I know it's a really weak argument, but every time it comes up, I always bring back the automotive industry. You know how they were saying, like, you have to pass a test and you have to have a license and you have to have insurance to drive a car or whatever. Well, that's a privilege and what we have is a right. And the thing about advertising and firearms and everything is sort of similar. I mean, it's like, I'm brain farting. Sorry.
That's right. But actually, what you were saying there too, back to promote.
I remember. Sorry. Remington has a very easy defense that they can use in this case. They'll just say, look, you're basically setting a precedent that if someone buys one of our products and uses it in a nefarious act, that we're somehow responsible. So what they will ask is, if drunk drivers kill more people per year than firearms do, how come automotive makers aren't being sued for the same reason? Because it's exactly the same principle. And then, a sane jury will just sit there and nod their head and go, well, yeah, it's kind of right, isn't it?
Yeah, let's hope they use the argument, because you go talking about that. I mean, the car commercials, right? Not so much today, but I remember years ago, right? It was aimed at the guy to pick up the girl. Had this nice, sleek-looking car, So the same principle, but I forgot what I was going to say before you.
Men with muscles and good looks sell products. Men with bad looks and skinny little rail arms like mine don't. That's why I'm not a model and The Rock is. Your homely little cousin that has got a great personality and she sure has a great sense of humor isn't a model because she's got that great sense of humor. That's why Nikki Taylor and Brooke Shields and all these other ones, because good-looking people sell things. That's just a fact. Nobody wants a He-Man doll that looks like the Ken doll, because you're going to be the you're the master of the universe, and you don't have a sword or big bulging muscles or a mean look on your face.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Slight thing back on to what Sean was saying. What we need to do is, when we're promoting the Second Amendment, is, I think where the misconception is with a big majority of the country is, when we say it's a right, I think they must be thinking the government gave us that right, which they didn't. All the government is doing is saying that right is protected because it's for lack of a word, because it was a right, a natural right given to everybody. No, I mean, yes, I mean, our founders put it down in writing, but to defend yourself, that's a natural right world over.
The government didn't give us that right. Men gave us that right to create government. They weren't an organized government yet. They had to ratify the Bill of Rights to get full support to create the laws of the land that created the foundations of our government. So the government did not give us this right. Our fellow man gave us this right. He gave us these inalienable rights because they wanted them, and they wanted everyone to have them. And because that was so important to them, it was part of the Bill of Rights. And without the Bill of Rights, there would have been no Constitution. And with no Constitution, there would have been no government.
Yeah, yeah. But what I'm saying is the actual right to defend ourselves is a natural right. Everybody has it, not just Americans. Everybody around the world has that natural right to defend themselves. You know, but ours is put on paper. So, Sabrina says there is a city here who decided that if you snitch on somebody who has a gun, you get money to the max of 700 euros. If anybody knows, Sabrina lives in the Netherlands. And they want, they say we should follow European laws or be much better, So
Because the country's not already in debt.
Oh, because that worked out so well for the Jews in Nazi Germany.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And communist Russia. And, fascist Iran. Let's see, where else? I mean, China, North Korea, how many other places? Vietnam, South America, Canada, everywhere. That's not the United States, and with the exception, Britain.
Yep. Yeah. So, you're right. Oh, it's 4:00 already. Damn. Oh, I know what I forgot, and I'll bring it up now while I remember it. The cut of the week. Today, what I was thinking of, right, to me, is it's a pork sirloin chop or steak. It looks like a beef sirloin steak, but a much smaller piece, And I tell you what, you throw that bad boy on the grill, that is a tender eating piece of pork. Probably what people do is they overcook pork. That's why people say, well, pork's tough and dry. That's only because you overcooked it. Now, years ago, I'm going back years ago. I'm talking about when we were kids or before we were even born. That's how far back I'm going. Pork used to, they said, especially during the summer months, pork would have a sort of like a worm in it, in the meat. I mean, it was microscopic. You couldn't see it with the human eye, but it was there. That's not in it anymore. So don't worry about, that you got to really cook pork till it's almost like boot leather. You don't have to do that anymore. You almost basically cook it like a steak. 3-4 minutes aside, boom, and it's done. But so that's my core. It's pork sirloin chop or steak. That's what I call it. It might have a different name where you're at. So that was my cut of the week. That's a nice piece of meat, I'm telling you. Or take it as a whole piece and roast it. Put it on the grill and cook it that way with indirect heat. Separate the coals, let the heat circle around it. That will eat great too. You can even do it in the oven on a low temperature. Just back to the thing that I like I said last week. Beef, when I'm roasting something in the oven, I do it at 20 minutes a pound plus an extra 20 minutes. Now with pork, you're not far off doing the same thing. Pork, actually, I even do it less. I do it 15 minutes a pound and an extra 15. And it will come out right. I'm telling you.
Man, I baked a couple of center cut pork chops the other day, and they were like chewing on bubble gum. They were so soft.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there. Midnight Range says that was tricholosis. Is that how you pronounce it? Well, I don't know, but yeah, that's what I was talking about. Midnight Range. Yeah, there hadn't been a case in years. So, but for some people, wives' tales and their grandmother told your mother. Now she's telling you that you have to cook pork really well to kill it. It's not there anymore, so you don't have to cook pork till you kill it. You know, so that's all I wanted to say. So that was, I know it's one of the as fancy as my other weeks, but I just happened to. Actually, because I bought some the other day. They're sitting in my freezer right now. I froze them. I haven't cooked them yet, so I stuck them in the freezer. You know. Oh, that's another tip for you guys. About refreezing meat. All right. Yes, if you got a piece of meat out and you let it sit out all day till it's soft and blood's running out of it, beef actually, it's not, beef isn't so bad, but you can. I have personally myself. I'm not telling anybody to do it. I have refrozen beef that's been done like that with no problems. But where I was going to this is like beef, pork, lamb. If you got it out and it's still not totally thawed out, I mean, you can bend it and stuff, but it's still sort of like got frozen particles in it. It is okay to refreeze it because it hasn't totally thawed out, and your meat will be fine. You know, I'm just letting you guys know for years of experience of working in the meat business. You know, we normally don't advertise it to customers that you can do that because knowing our luck, they won't follow rules exactly. And they say, you told me to do that and we got sick. But if you do it, if it's still got ice particles in it, you can refreeze it. So just wanted to let you know that. And don't come sue, and you can try to sue me, but it's goddamn hard getting water out of a stone. I'm flat broke. I ain't worth a damn. You know? I'm waiting for somebody to steal my Social Security number and try to get a credit card. You know? So good luck to them. Who's joined us here?
It's probably me.
Okay.
I can't get back. I started pushing buttons, and now I can't get back to the screen to find the regular. Like I can't get back to the chat room.
Well, you're in there. We can hear it. The problem is it's sort of like just a gray, total gray screen there.
Yeah, that's because I can't get back in the. Like I'm stuck on YouTube. I can't get out of YouTube right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying. There we go. I think I got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There it is. Okay. Now I'm back.
Yeah. So Midnight Range is giving cooking tips out there too. Good man. So.
Well, now Rick, you said that we couldn't sue you if we get sick. Can I sue you for making me fat with all these recipes and cuts of the week?
No.
Damn it.
No, because you have free will. I'm not making you do it. You know. So. Well, if I lived in Connecticut, you might be able to do it. Get me for advertising. You know. So. No, I can't be sued. You can sue me all you want. You ain't going to get shit because I ain't got nothing.
I'll sue you for the Pimp 380 and your cat.
Yeah, you might get that. You know. Yeah. Oh, I know it's still going on, and I'm in no rush. But where is it? Where is it? I've been reload my 380s.
Pimp 380?
Oh. Well, you got a flashlight on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else to put it.
I don't know if I like it on there.
I don't usually leave it on.
Yeah. So did you see that picture there, blind shooter? As best you could.
Yes, I could.
Okay. I know. You have vision problems, but I wasn't sure if you saw what he was showing there. So, yeah, I get so used to you, I don't even think about you being visually impaired.
It's all good.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's actually the 380s in the other room. I was actually before I started the show, I was trying to find cheap magazines because I've only got the 2 that it came with. Because normally if you buy from Smith and Wesson, they're expensive.
I'll send you a link.
Okay.
I found a couple.
All right. Didn't you say you had a link that has the has an extra extended by 1 or 2 rounds?
Yeah, it'll give you a +1 base plate, but then if you install that, you're gonna lose that follower that you can push down with your fingers.
Okay.
And I didn't want to give that up, so I was like, forget it. I'll just carry extra mags.
Yeah, same here. They're not that big. They ain't gonna get in the way.
Yeah.
You
I wish every magazine came with this little follower thing. Like I'd pay 10-15% extra for that. That's worth it to me.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Midnight Rage. Did you see that blind shooter, cold-blooded Rick? But he did see it. What? Hey, talking about that, where's your buddy, Midnight Patriot in the Dark? He told me he was going to be here today, happy, because he was in a down mood on Wednesday. What'd you do to him? So anyway, if anybody out there, before I sign off and close up and all that good stuff, if anybody's interested, if you want to learn about cutting meat, cooking stuff, I mean, Kingpin's put a link in there, but I even down to like doing deer, buffalo, elk, and stuff. Is a YouTube channel called The Bearded Butchers. Look them up. They got some great shit on there. So there you go. Also, another good for you guys who are patriotic is anybody here subscribe to the Patriot Nurse? You ought to look that one up too. She's pretty good too. I mean, nothing to do with cooking or anything, but her views on, patriotism and stuff like that. She's pretty good, and it's nice on the eyes to watch her too. So I can't complain there. So anyway, anybody else got anything else they want to talk about?
I got gun
Did you
porn
cover the
for it.
California shooting?
Yeah, we talked about it, but you got anything else to say about it?
I don't know if you covered it. Just I saw the media is like going after the father now for all his hunting photos.
What was that?
The media, they're going after the kid's father, saying that he influenced the son to shoot people because he's been posting all these different photos of him going out on hunting trips.
Oh, you're shitting me.
Yeah, apparently he's posted photos of him like skinning the deer and all that, and they said that contributed to the kid's anger issue.
I wouldn't put it past people in California to do that.
Instagram put out a report and said that they're going to start basically shadow banning likes. So theoretically, if you put out a video that Instagram doesn't really want people to know how many likes it gets, you'll be able to see the picture, but it won't show you how many likes it's got.
That's bullshit. That really is. But also talking about the article, talking about the California shooting, they said he put something on Instagram the night before, but the police said somebody had altered it. So somebody else has access to his account, and they're going there changing stuff where he doesn't look so bad. Now, Is that a friend of his, or is that one of his parents doing that? I don't know. You know? I was asking where Patriot was, and New York Outcast. That's I think it's funny. Maybe people might think it's cruel, but I think it's funny. Someone led Patriot into a silo and told him the exit is by the corner.
See, you think it's funny because it's funny.
Yeah, you know. So, I mean, some justice warrior might not like it. You know.
Yeah, who cares what they think?
Yeah, we know it was just a joke and no disrespect, New York. That was funny. I think Patriot would have laughed at it too if we had read it out to him. You know. Oh, Black Cat said the last he heard was they couldn't link that account to the shooter. Okay. All right. I don't know. It's all, I mean, it happens. I mean, how can we, I mean, should the masses suffer for the few? Basically, is what it comes down to. You know? Just because there's a few idiots out there and they're spoiling it for the rest of us, putting it plainly. And the way the anti-gunners are doing it is that we should all be punished for what somebody else did. You know? So. Midnight Rage says, New York Outcast, I'm texting Patriot right now. You're going to get punched in the face by a blind guy if he can get a ride to New York.
I'll give you a little bit of street tips there, Rob. When Patriot's about to punch you, take one step in either direction.
Oh. Yeah, that's a long ride from Michigan to New York anyway. You know? All right. All right. Anybody got anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, if we're going to sit here and make fun of Patriot for a while, you better call Squid.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know? I said, that's who's missing it, Squib. So you got any more news on these shooting in New Jersey, blind shooter?
No, just that it's gang related, and everyone on the Second Amendment front, we're pretty much just taking bets as to how long it'll be before Governor Free Stuff gets on TV and says he wants new gun control measures.
Oh yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You know, but I don't know. It's hopefully, you know, the President Trump gets reelected because we don't want a Democrat in there right now. But eventually, a Democrat's going to win again.
Eventually, but hopefully by then we get the House back.
Yeah, well, yeah, not only that is hopefully a few cases have gone to the Supreme Court as well and set the record straight, or they can't really do much when they do go back in power. But if they go right now, we're screwed. You know? So that's my thoughts on it anyway. I mean, as I said in the earlier conversation, was I don't know if you were here for that, blind shooter. My thing was, has society evolved beyond firearms? You know, because I felt, and I don't know, sometimes I guess it depends. I feel that we're outnumbered. But
absolutely.
But are we? Are we outnumbered? Or
I think we're outnumbered in terms of what's being portrayed. I think there's a lot of those is lying, being quiet because they don't want to be exposed as the gun-toting for a Second Amendment supporting person, and then they end up getting outcasted for their belief. It's almost kind of like being gay back in the 60s and 70s, where it was taboo to come out as being that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, we had I've got faith. I've got faith that everything's going to turn out okay. But I don't know. I'm just rambling here. I'm sitting here rambling, and in the back of my mind, I didn't get the pork chops out of the freezer, so I ain't having those tonight. So I got to figure what I'm going to have for dinner. So I don't know. I don't know. I think I might make Welsh rabbit again.
Finally.
What?
Finally.
I had some the other day.
Oh, you didn't tell me.
Yeah, I made some the other day for lunch.
Excellent.
Yeah. Anyway, Welsh rabbit is cheese on toast, basically, guys. What you do is you toast some bread, butter it, slice some cheese. Don't use plastic American cheese, please. I use sharp cheddar. Slice some sharp cheddar, lay it over the bread, stick it under your broiler until the cheese starts melting and bubbling, and get a slight, it starts bubbling. Pull it out, salt and pepper. Oh man, make your tongue bat your brains out. So that's how I make it anyway. So yeah, and it's called Welsh rabbit. That's what we used to call it in England anyway. It sounds better than cheese on toast, don't it? That's another good thing, talking about food. Another good British dish is beans on toast. Take, 2 or 3 slices of toast, butter them, lay them on your plate, heat up your baked beans, and pour your baked beans over it. Then chop down on it. I tell you, it's a filler. So that's another English dish that we used to eat a lot when I was a kid growing up. Anyway, let me end this show. Anybody got any shout outs or plugs they want to do?
Yeah. Go ahead, Sean.
I would like to spend your money, as I used to have a reputation for that on gun channels quite a bit. But if any of you are on the fence about classic firearms' Jericho that they're selling, what I can show you is, with a little bit of patience and a little bit of hard work, you can make one look like this. And you can get this for $350. They're awesome. They are absolutely awesome.
How'd you get it looking like that?
3 days worth of wet sanding.
Okay.
And a lot of polish and a lot of sore fingers. But it was worth it. I'm pretty happy with it.
$350, you said?
Cheap thrill, man. $349.
Yeah, that is. Duran, man, a full English breakfast. Now, the full English breakfast to me is bacon, sausage, egg, mushrooms, beans, tomatoes.
And a visit from Patriot Nurse.
Toast and tea, of course. To me, that's a full English breakfast. God damn, it's making me homesick thinking about it. All right. Okay, so you done your plug? Anything, Blind Shooter?
Nah, not today, Rick.
All right. Anything, Kingpin?
Yeah, I'm going to post a link right now to this little 10-year-old girl who plays the drums, and she's really good at it. And if you're looking to watch a video to put you in a good mood, go check that out, because not only is she killing the drums at like 10 years old, but she's really having fun doing it. So go check out that video. It's pretty interesting and puts you in a good mood.
Okay. And are you? Gun Websites is in the chat there. Are you doing your Minuteman or University this afternoon? So there we go. I don't know. He hasn't answered me yet. I don't know if he is or not, but he normally does one on Saturdays.
Well, at 8 p.m. Eastern, Uncle Jim will be doing the Hat Chat tonight, which is usually a pretty good time. And then right around 9:30-ish in that general area, the Gun Snob will be doing his show tonight, too.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Great, there you go. So people got some stuff lined up for tonight. So I want to say thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. If you got any questions or topics you want us to discuss, just throw me an email with your questions or topics, and I will use them in the chat. I will be back next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. And I'll be back on Wednesday with Shooting with Disabilities. Now, that Shooting with Disabilities is, I'm be honest with you, I'm finding it hard to keep that one going on the topic of shooting with disabilities. Because I don't want to start repeating everything we talked about before, but I might have to. I just want to let you guys know that we might bring up some old topics. So unless you got some new ones or you got some questions, email them to me and I'll ask the panel. Or we can always go off topic too, like we normally do. But I just wanted to throw that out there. So, all right, I want to say thank you all for being here, and I will be back Saturday at 3 p.m. and I'll be back earlier than that. That is coming Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. So I will say so long to everybody and see you later, and thanks for stopping by.
Epstein didn't kill himself.